So today we're presenting the UPS Holiday Alternative, which is our new and intuitive method for UPS dealing with their new holiday demand. As it stands right now, UPS is of course one of the largest delivery companies in the world, and every day they have to deliver about 16 million packages. But during the holiday season, you know, everyone wants to receive their new gifts. So UPS's demand nearly doubles to almost 30 million packages a day. So how will they deal with this? Normally what they do is they hire seasonal drivers. These new seasonal drivers, what they're going to do is they're going to work for the peak season only, November, December, but then they'll be fired in January. And they also drive more versions of the UPS Brown package car. Now, why is this a problem? The UPS seasonal drivers are expensive. They take a long time to train because they have to learn how to drive their new package car, and their wage rates are high, and also they have to rent a new brown truck because UPS isn't going to purchase brown trucks and then have them lie dormant for 10 months of the year. That's just bad business. So under our new project, what we can do is fill that new holiday demand with using personal vehicles. Think Uber, except for UPS. What if we had personal drivers delivering all of that new holiday demand, and we don't even have to teach them how to drive? Plus, UPS package cars are stick shift. No one knows how to drive that anymore. So what we do here is, we look at the option of driving with new seasonal drivers or with peak satellites. And if we look at the individual costs, we found that these peak satellites, for how much we're paying them of $18.75 comparatively, they're way, way, way more efficient across all areas of the globe. And we also wanted to provide sensitivity models so that we could look at each individual part of the project to see which is most important to focus on by UPS. And we found things like training time, the efficiency of how many stops they can deliver, and their overtime is most important for a manager to focus on. But we also looked at this from a very broad level. We wanted to bring it down, take it on a more route-by-route level. So each individual UPS route we wanted to look at, and we wanted to find the individual risks involved. Even if this is a good project on paper, if there are huge risks, even in small parts, that's a no-go for UPS. So we took each individual route and we looked at it on a 0 to 1 scale. We found which of the routes were more risky compared to others, and then we were able to help managers find which ones were not only good routes, but consistently good routes across all the sorts of geotypes and areas. Then what we did was, we made a prediction tool. One of the big problems that was run into by UPS is that they hired their new drivers too late in the year. They hired them in October for November, December, so we wanted to bring it back a month earlier. So what our tool does is it takes in data from the routes that were run in September, normal UPS routes, and transforms them into what they'll look like during the holiday season, and then it will decide which new driver is the best to use, if any, and how much they'll save by using this. And so one of the reasons why this tool is intuitive is that it allows UPS to be able to swap in information, change their policies, change their routes, and it will still work with the click of a button. And in this route, what it'll do is it'll input September routes, it'll transform them, and it looks at each individual route like this. We have the individual route, which is one package car, and they'll look at 3 possible options. It'll stick with the package car and use additional overtime to pay them, or it'll stick with the package car and add the seasonal driver, which is what's traditionally done, or it'll add the package car and the new peak satellite, which is our new idea. And then what it'll output is, in this example here, for each individual route that was put in, it'll give the recommendation on which to use, you know, full service provider, brown truck and seasonal driver, or brown truck and peak satellite, and it'll tell you how much you save for each route by switching. And we've noticed that of all of the routes, 84% of them can stick with using the original brown truck, but 15% of them are actually made better by using the peak satellite, and fewer than 1% now should use the seasonal driver, as was what was traditionally done in the past. Looking at this all together, we were able to make a heat map to help decide where all of these things should be placed. One of the biggest benefits of using the peak satellite is they don't have to drive in or out from the UPS facility. They can be placed in the middle of, well, not really a road, but anywhere, and then you just have to put a storage unit there and they can grab their packages there. So we made a heat map using a machine learning technique called k-means clustering, and we were able to find, using all of the stops and data that we had, where would be the best place to place peak satellites and on-service helpers, on-area helpers, and then this is actually a process that's done manually by interns, I think, mostly, and now we've automated it to save man-hours across the globe. Putting all of this together, if our tool is implemented where UPS is right now, with a weighted average savings of about $1,070 per route applied to 15% of the 82,500 UPS routes, we're looking at savings of up to about $14 million. And our tool alone, compared to what UPS's current selection tool does, saves over $1 million more than what they're currently looking at. And this even excludes CapEx values, which are up in the air, because by not using these brown trucks, we don't have to field them in facilities, we don't have to prepare areas for them, build all sorts of support, and each of those, what each of them would need would be about $100,000. So we're looking at huge valuation and CapEx savings. And perhaps most importantly of all, UPS is implementing our tool at no cost to them whatsoever. We've worked hard for a year, we've been to our presentation, they like what we've done, and they're going to implement it across the country.